Hey, it's Melissa6 again. Today we're going to be talking about 4 homicidal SCPs that I can pretty much think of. There's actually plenty SCPs that are pretty homicidal in nature. But the 4 I chose are just, they're people, anomalies, things that will just straight up kill you if they ever so much as get the chance to. So I present to you this. This SCP is also known as the Daughter of Darkness. Now, according to the wiki and just by looking at it, this SCP is completely black. Like, and I'm not even saying it in a racial way. I'm saying completely black. Its entire pigmentation is just purely black. What made her basically come on the list is that this woman basically is like part of some weird cult where she was basically worshipped and seen as like an evil goddess. And basically her anomalous abilities is that she's superhumanly strong, very durable, highly resilient to damage in all forms, and could pretty much make anything into a weapon. And she prefers to kill people by strangling them rather than like killing them by like slashing or shooting them. Anything that involves bloodshedding, she for the most part tries to refrain from it. And the best part is that if you are a male and you are within her vicinity and she looks at you, you are going to be hypnotized and you're going to be willing to fight and die for her. So basically, she's contained by a purely woman. No male staff is supposed to work with her at any time, or they will fall under a very powerful compulsion. Man, this thing would just be... If she existed, oh my god, we already have enough white knights and simps as it is. This thing would just... She could probably end the world on her own, honestly. On to the next one. This SCP is a very famous SCP, also known as the Shy Guy. This is a mouthful to really say about. Okay, so basically, this is some weird, like disfigured looking creature, where if anybody looks at its face, whether it is a picture, a video, whether it's live or not, like anything, like in any way, the only time like the effect doesn't happen is if you look at an artist depiction of it. But if you look at a picture or a video, surveillance of any kind, it will know, and it will start crying for 1 to 2 minutes, and after it's done crying, it will leave wherever it is, run to your location, and kill you. And there's nothing you could do about it. So yeah, basically, don't look at this thing's face, because it will know. And for some of you guys thinking, oh, I'll just shoot it, why is it there? This thing is pretty much like the Incredible Hulk. The only difference is that it has no muscle. And this thing can go literally anywhere. It's not affected by elements. It's not affected by pretty much anything. They shot this thing with anti-tank bullets, and all it did was rip the skin off of its body. Its bones are invulnerable, or at least it's implied it's invulnerable. This thing jumped into the deepest areas of the ocean. I mean, there's it jumped into the trench. I forget the first part of it, but basically, it jumped miles deep into the water to catch somebody. They actually did a test where they put somebody in a trench and they had them look at the face. This thing broke containment, ran thousands of miles to wherever this guy was, jumped in the water, swam all the way down, and killed a native. This thing is actually pretty fast, but its speed depends depending on how far away the victim is. So if you're you're in a room, and that thing is maybe in the same room as you, or maybe it's let's say you guys are in the same house. It's going to run proportional to what it feels is comfortable. It's going to have just enough speed to catch you. But let's say you're in another state. Like you're in Texas and it's in California. It's going to run so fast, it's actually going to outrun helicopters. Its full speed, well, it's pretty unknown. But basically, you get the point. The farther you are, the more in proportion it's going to run to get you, basically. And at some point, it'll start slowing down, and when it finds you, it will kill and probably eat you. The wiki basically says data expunged, and it says that it leaves no traces of you, but I think it's honestly pretty obvious what that thing does to you. It rips you apart and eats you. Now, honestly, it's probably some highly evolved creature that evolved basically for this matter, to basically eat and hunt whoever saw its face. On to the next one. This is another mouthful to talk about. This SCP is known as Abel. This SCP is a very hostile SCP, but I guess you could say that it's pretty much kind of under control. This SCP is about a man who basically, for the most part, he's dead, and he's within like this coffin. And basically, you need like a specialized lock in order to you need like a specialized key to basically open the lock, I believe. But in any case, when this man awakens, basically he'll go on a killing spree, and killing like he'll keep killing and keep killing and keep killing, and pretty much just like the Daughter of Darkness, basically has incredible strength, incredible speed, durability, reflexes, and etc. He's not really invulnerable, as he actually can be killed. And the thing is, he's been killed several times. Several times. But here's the catch. When Abel is killed, his body will turn into dust, and the dust will literally return right back into the coffin. And then after maybe like either a couple hours to 25 years, then that thing will reform. And then basically start the process all over again. Abel has been killed many times, up to the point where the Foundation actually try to reason with it and say, hey, listen, you could be very useful to us. You can go on quests and adventures and explorations that will prove very difficult for us. You could help like stop certain containment breaches. Please work with us here, basically. Because they can't. There's no real way to permanently get rid of it. And I believe the coffin, its tomb, is pretty much invulnerable. So basically they can't really permanently kill this thing. It will literally just keep coming back. And also for the upcoming SCP, I have you know that Abel fought this thing, and he actually did very well against it. Another thing I also forgot to mention about Abel is that sword that you see in its hand, it has this awesome ability to basically take weapons out of seemingly nowhere, which is basically theorized to be maybe some form of some type of pocket dimension that it's able to access any sort of weaponry from. And the SCP Foundation have been trying to train him to like use guns and stuff like that for battle, but it seems to prefer like hand-to-hand combat, swords, stuff like that. And also, obviously, this is some of you guys have probably already got this. This SCP is based off of Abel, Cain and Abel, from the Bible, basically. It's like it's almost like some weird, vicious-looking parody of this. If anything, this should have been Cain. I don't know why they used Abel, but on to the next one. Okay, this is a mouthful to say. This SCP definitely, like, you know what? If I would have made the title like top 4 SCPs, this would definitely be number 1. This is the hard to destroy reptile. This is one of the most famous SCPs, and you know what? It's gotten up to the point where where a ton of people love using this for matches, like on many like fantasy sites like Comic Vine, comic sites along those natures. This SCP is basically like some type of lizard. It's not really a lizard. It's some type of entity that basically hates all life. And it's hinted that it does not originate from this dimension, or at least from the SCP dimension. But you guys could probably predict like already what this thing does. It hates all life, and it wishes to destroy all life. Added with this mentality is the ability to adapt and evolve against just about anything. Anything that it consumes, it could become it or evolve against it or utilize it in some sort of way. So let's say you shoot this thing. Well, the more damage you cause to it with that sense, the more resilient it will become. It might evolve to be some type of metal, or it might evolve to be a giant gun. You set this thing on fire, exact same thing. The more damage you do to it, the more it evolves. The best thing to really like do against this thing is attack it simultaneously with different stuff, which is probably what the SCP Foundation does in order to keep it immobilized and weak. One thing I do know is that this thing is kept in acid container thing. So it's basically literally contained in just a bunch of acid in order to constantly erode its flesh. But it causes minimal damage as it's adapted against it. It's been in there for probably years. And the thing is, this SCP has broken out of the Foundation numerous times. And the thing is, the Foundation have found no way to destroy this thing. This is one of the few SCPs they actually went dead. They don't want to do much study on it. They just want to destroy it because it's incredibly hostile. I mean, it's a threat to other SCPs. And in fact, just like I was talking about with SCP-076, aka Abel, these two fought. And not only that, the Shy Guy, SCP-096, they had a cross-experimentation where they tried to use the Shy Guy, a seemingly indestructible humanoid creature that kills whatever looks at its face, against 682. 682 is probably the only known survivor against SCP-096, the Shy Guy. Every time the Shy Guy looks at 682, it runs away, claws at its own face, and screams. So yeah, that's SCP-682, the hard-to-destroy reptile. Pretty much like, not invulnerable, but pretty much unkillable. It regenerated from just 1% of its body left. This thing could kill Godzilla. This thing could probably kill the Hulk. It would probably like absorb like gamma radiation and just become something weird. So yeah, this is one of the most dangerous, most powerful SCPs out there. And also one of my most favorites. Thank you guys for watching the 4 Homicidal SCPs. I'm out.